talked together and decided to go back to their base, to have a memorial for everyone that died and meet all together a last time before a battle. Little did they know that the people organizing the ceremony was not on their side.
My God.
Come
Every
on.
kid in the bloody middle, I swear to God, I'm going to eat a horse.
The TNT below! The TNT below! Run! The TNT below! Everyone run away! This is the TNT! This is the TNT! No! After that, some of the CHF soldiers were passing by and finished off the little that was left of Mentum. The Dawn of the Hobbits were also here, but they didn't do anything. They just watched them get destroyed. A group that was on top, that had the most members, the biggest city, has fallen in less than an hour, all by themselves, by the fear of getting killed. Yesterday, Shuf and his allies won the war against Mentum without even having to battle. Their enemies were so scared of them that they self-destructed themselves. And all of that is getting to Shuf's head. He is starting to feel untouchable, that he owns the world, that he can take down anyone he wants. And it's never good when power gets up to your head. Shuf has a plan. He wants to control the world. But there is one thing in his way, his allies. After a talk with his council, he decided to set up a fake meeting with the INS and the TMA leader, where he would be killing them. But he would not be able to do that alone. Shuf knew that the Hobbits group had an amazing army, and he would not be able to take them down in any way. So he decided to meet up with their leader and have a talk.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy, by the way.
Uh-oh, that's not very good.
I like you, though. You're the only leader I actually like. Oh, confused about what they're talking about? Let me explain. On the server, there is a way to revive people who are dead, using a totem of second chance that is only obtainable through hidden loot. The INS use one of those totems to revive a player called Elku. And let's say that this guy is not really appreciated by Shuf and Dolly. After a little talk, they now had an agreement. The Hobbits will be helping Shuf to take the two leaders down. Shuf went back to Schufenheim and prepared a trapped meeting room. The Hobbits came with him and were hidden underground next to the room to finish up the two leaders in case they survived the explosion that was planned to kill them. It seems like explosive killing leaders is a running team this season. I swear, what is wrong with people and bombs? Anyways, everything was ready. Shuf messaged the two leaders and told them to meet up. Riva, the TMA leader, showed up, but Pneumonium, the INS leader, was nowhere to be seen. He knew that Shuf had something up his sleeve, and decided to not show up. Back at Schufenheim, they realized that he was not gonna show up, so they took the decision to kill Riva. He went down the meeting room, and Pneumonium was now sure that Shuf was not on their side anymore, and told all his troops to prepare for war. The TMA were shocked and decided to stick with the INS and CHF and their allies have won. Shuf now had everything he wanted. Control over the world. But now he realized that he achieved everything he wanted, but at what cost? Now that he had everything, what was his purpose? In the Minecraft social experiment, my team and I have created a way to simulate civilization in Minecraft like it was never done before, with 300 players. This is Atlas, a country with 7 different islands, where players will be separated into different groups on their own islands. To make them feel connected to each other, we have decided to give each team their own set of perks and disadvantages. They will also have to elect a leader to guide them, diplomatically or by force. Oh, and also, the server isn't hardcore. It means that everyone has only one life. Will civilization form, or will they all plunge into war? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nations Season 2. I would like to thank our partners Wepoet Hosting for making this possible, and also all the people listening on the screen right now. If you wish to participate in future videos like this one, make sure to subscribe and join the Nations Discord. On this note, let's get started. Everything started with releasing the 300 players on their own island. They all started running in every direction to start gathering resources. For a lot of the islands, food was the biggest issue. The Waste Island is mostly dead, and has no living creatures, grass, or plants on the surface, so food was really challenging to get. The other nations mainly headed for the caves, to get some armor and basic tools to defend themselves and work faster. Once they gathered all the materials needed to build a little outpost, groups of people started building camps to live in with their teams and farm food. The Swamp Nation settled near a lake, to be able to grow crops and fish for food. The Plain Nation also started working on a farm, to grow crops with some houses around it to pass the night. The rest of the nations also went for similar outposts, jungle near an ocean, desert on top of a mountain, and snow inside a cave. People also started giving each other's roles, like farmers, miners, builders, and even leaders, but more about that later. Oh, also, I have to mention that a lot of people died due to monsters, mainly because of the little gear they had and them not being ready to face them.
Guys, oh my god.
Anyways, this was everything for day 1, the server shut it down, and everyone started to get ready for day 2. Day 2 started with all the teams wanting to figure out what their perks are, to be able to take advantage of them. The Plain Nation figured that they are able to mine faster if they sneak, but they are weaker when it rains, which could be a huge disadvantage during a battle. Nonetheless, they were expanding their town due to their ease of gathering resources quickly. They even had a leader election. There were 2 main candidates. A player called Mistralak was presenting himself alone, and a player called Code, who presented himself along with his government. The entire nation voted, and Code was elected leader of Plains. On the Waste and Desert Island, teams also had election. On the Waste Island, a player called Bry was elected with the promise of achieving world peace.
With the Great Nation plan that I have, which is basically uniting all 6 nations under one, which a lot of over 30 people are in. It's coming a reality. It's becoming a reality right now.
Bry had a dream to unite all 6 nations under the same banner, and with his people believing in him, he got elected. In my opinion, this man is trying the impossible. You guys need to understand how hard of a task it is to achieve that. I have tried and experimented. When you place players on a map and tell them do as you will, they will try to gain power by killing each other. Anyways, on the desert island, the Death Creeper was elected as leader, by being the most convincing and fitting for the job. Leadership apart, on the Swamp Island, the players realized that their perk was better movement underwater, so they took the decision to keep their starter base and expand onto it. And I have to say, they did an amazing job at building all of that, only in 2 days. On the Waste Island, they actually found a way to resolve the food issue, by eating berries and rotten flesh, because one of their perks is not getting food poisoned by eating rotten flesh. Oh, also, on the desert island, the leader decided to exile a player called Zombie Dwarf.
Zombie, your options are either 2. Give me all your diamonds with everybody in the nation, or get exiled.
You see, on nations, leaders are allowed to exile people. When someone gets exiled, they are kicked from their nation and have to live alone on the exile island until the border drops. The reason for the exile was that Zombie didn't want to share his diamond gear with the rest of the team, so the leader resulted by exiling him. This wraps it up for day 2. Let's move on to day 3.
When there's no time to stop, try G-Slam. It provides space for all stages of a thought.
The political relations between the 6 nations were starting to get so complex that the desert leader had to draw a map to understand it better. Guys, just look at that. I told you, world peace was not gonna be easy. Also, the rest of the jungle members were left with no home and no one to guide them, so they tried to seek refuge in plains. They got denied, then went to the desert and were allowed to stay there. This day was a disaster for the Grand Nations plan. World peace has never been this far. Day 6 started with a lot of confusion, so get ready for that. The Plain Leader Code thinks that Bry is the bad guy, because he thinks that it's his fault if Zombie Killer is dead.
Pause it. Head to bed. No, this is my room here. We're going for a few days. It's another day here. In 1880. In 1818. The year 1818. It's like I said, time machine here, remember? Okay, good, everything is here. Gang gang. See, it teleports here. It's like I said it will. A program, you know. I told it to teleport here. So, yeah, you know. Picture here. Press play.
Which is not true because
granted
yes, he asked Erko to do it, but it was still Erko's choice. He also thinks that what happened in jungle yesterday is Bryce's fault, even though it was 3 random guys that just wanted to take revenge on their nation. This is gonna cause problems. In all this confusion, he ordered the plain army to go and destroy the waste capital and kill everyone they saw. They went there and killed a lot of people and destroyed the entire capital with TNT. Which kinda looks cool, not gonna lie. I mean, look at this awesome...
We created a Minecraft
The
with
bronze.
weapons, mysterious creatures, and 100 players split into 3 different kingdoms. Well, today, I created a public server with a giant medieval map, split players into 3 races with unique abilities. Their goal is to build a kingdom and survive through different medieval world events like the Plague, huge orc invasion, and eventually invading other kingdoms. Players are also set to hardcore mode, meaning they only have 1 life, which will become the most advanced civilization and will conflict emerge between the races. Welcome to the story of medieval civilization. So, the 3 races spawned in their own unique regions. The dwarves in an icy mountain range, the elves an enchanted forest, the giants a plains with redwood trees. And to stay alive, these civilizations would have to find a food source quickly. The dwarf civilization were in an especially tough position as their region was too cold to grow crops, and the only nearby animals were reindeer, which they decided to tame instead of using as food.
We ride!
We can ride food! But after some exploring, they
Let's head back to the room. You know, the mall, the hotel. Time travel, if you heard. Hey, just so you know, this is your last night staying here. Oh, good. Let's go to bed, wake up. Gang gang. In the morning. See ya. See ya. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks, yeah. See ya. Let's go to Nutaki Town. Let's catch a train to Nutaki Town. Where do I fucking buy a ticket? Ticket. Should be a ticket place somewhere. Farm? No. Where do I buy a ticket? Let's go ask the sheriff. What's up? Hey, I'm not from here. I'm a time traveler, you see. Yeah, what's up? Do you know where to get tickets? You buy them here, what? Where do you wanna go? I wanna go to Nutaki Town. Good. There'll be $5. Here you go. Here's your ticket. Have fun. Thanks. before I leave. Let's do... Let's make it teleport to the Nataki town where I'm going. Teleport. There we are. Let's go, boy. Let's wait until the train arrives, I guess. Press play.
Found an ancient dwarven caverns that was filled with ores and some
Oh,
underground
Blunt.
mines, so they started collecting materials
What
and
a
discovered
day.
a very unique food source, coal. Their abilities included being able to eat iron and coal, pickaxes being stronger than swords, extra ores one bite.
Okay. The train is here already. Oh shit. I'll see you guys when I'm at Nataki's town. See you soon. Well, here we are. At the town. My phone. So the time traveling machine is there. Okay, good. Just like I said. When my time traveling machine teleports, my phone get a message saying where it is and shit like that. So that's good. There's a town. You know what I fucking mean. Shit. This is bigger than other towns where so far been to in the year 1818. Look at this shit. It's much more bigger than the other towns. Wow. Carriages. Well, shit. Anyway, it's good to hear. Press play, smoke some weed.
Anyway, they're not listening. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna defect, and you can figure it out.
Wait. Eyes. Wait, we're building you a throne. We built you a custom throne and
I
everything.
don't want a throne. I don't
Come on,
care.
we're gonna have a ceremony. We'll unite the people.
It's a lost cause. The people over there dribbling. This is a team of 7 people. I'm sorry to tell you, it's a lost cause, and I'm dipping.
Wait, eyes, before you go.
No, don't care.
Alright, boys, this is a massive failure.
A mysterious player with no armor then wandered over to see what.
No, I have.
Bro, this guy just came over here with the flag.
Well, we need to agree. What the? Who got the plane?
Look at this. This guy. He just gave us all the flag.
The infected player sprinted up the mountain, never to be seen again. Meanwhile, Isaac just returned to the farm to talk about his plans to defect, and the farmer whose cows were killed by Ice earlier decided to get some revenge. How's this getting on the plague?
Well, step away from me if you have the plague, man. What?
You have it?
No. Oh, I am. What?
Exactly.
Where do I have it?
The plague had returned to the giant civilization, as the armorless player who spoke to Seaward looked out for an hour while infected and brought the plague back to the entire nation.
We need to do like a ceremony.
Apparently somebody left the game when they had the plague.
Oh my god, dude.
Due to the farmers' hard work, however, they managed to cure themselves using milk from the cows and gathered at the trading post to finally begin building their houses. At least until the next world event begun, the winter event. This means every player will begin freezing and will need to find a heat source extremely quickly to avoid death. Luckily, the dwarves had already built a campfire in the center of their town, so they quickly gathered around and begun singing campfire songs while they were being attacked by orcs.
We're gathering around the campfire.
Hey, what's sticking out of the fireplace there?
Watch out!
What is it? Is this a hotel? Hopefully it is. Let's go inside and check. Hey, how can I help you? Yeah, hey, I like a room. So, there'll be 5 gold. You see, I'm not from this timeline. I am a time travel. Then there'll be $5. You gonna rent it for a day or? Yeah, basically, just for a day for now. Well, $5. Got it. Here you go. Your room is upstairs, first floor, like the first room. Got it. This isn't even a hotel. It's not even a hotel. Is that a hotel? Let me have a look. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, it is. So, 3, 2, 1, action. How can I help you? Yeah, I'd like to rent a room for the night. Sure, there'll be $4 gold. I'm not from this timeline. I am a time traveler. Well, there'll be $4. Cool. Here's $5. Your room is upstairs, the first one. Got it. How do I even go upstairs? This way? No. Here we are. See how I go upstairs. So this is my room. $7 in the morning. Another day at 18:18. Yeah, 18:18. Press play. Oh, once a day.
The Giants, however, once so organized, their town's campfire was immediately broken.
We don't have the campfire now.
Man, who broke it? What are you doing, man?
In the Elf Kingdom, Starkiller was first in line for the throne after selflessly sharing food with his people.
Starkiller, can I have a couple of beers?
Yeah, here you go.
And helping the elves survive through the winter.
Guys, everyone, get up there! Get up there!
This is where the upcoming king election event made things very interesting. During this event, one player from each race was building and decided to visit some of the civilizations and took a trip to the Elf Kingdom, who had just noticed a player bridging in the sky towards their civilization.
Who is up there? Everyone, who is that up there? Wait, is he an enemy?
No, yes, and one player sprinted to the tower and started attacking. How did he die?
I killed him because he was an enemy.
What do you mean he was an enemy? I then teleported to the Dwarf Kingdom, who had built a house for their goblin trader that I spawned earlier, and given him the suitably intimidating name, Grog the Destroyer.
So we decided to make him our friend.
No, it was an accident. I definitely didn't. In the Giant Kingdom, Ice was frustrated with the lack of building.
I mean, lads, we need to build stuff. Go over there and build stuff.
He then traveled to the farm, finding cows and chickens that belonged to a farmer who was currently inside the barn. After checking the coast was clear, he decided to kill some cows for XP, and the farmer was quickly alerted.
Hey, what?
What are you doing?
The XP.
This is XP, bro. This is to keep us alive.
We have wheat to keep us alive.
Yeah, we're the ones that been doing all that while you've been mining.
Yeah, congrats. Have fun getting 2 hit.
Meanwhile, Seawart had just finished his preparations and gathered his allies at the Trapped Throne.
Where's pause yet? Let's get me a burger. I'm hungry. I'm not gonna jump down. I'm just gonna go the normal way, of course. You're a top. Yeah. Do you guys have burgers? Yeah, we do, of course. Cool. We'll top a burger after. Just a double cheeseburger. Cool, that'll be $10. No problem. 5, 10. Cool. We'll book it to you. Cool. I'll be upstairs on the balcony. We'll go see you soon. Press I guess.
Also, if you guys want a chance to be in my Civilization videos, join my Discord link down below and follow me on Twitter where I post the applications.
Listen, we're gonna kill Eyes, okay? I'm almost positive I
Some
can do it.
blunt.
While they were still discussing their plan, Ice was spotted heading straight towards the throne, and the assassination plan was brought into action.
We are willing to make you king.
I don't even care about that. We're dead.
What do you mean we're dead?
Bro, people are over there in leather and they're saying we need to build dirt. I don't care that I'm in leather.
I agree.
They're gonna all get 2 hits.
That's why we need to rally around you.
I mean, it's no point running away. They're not listening. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna defect, and you can figure it out.
Wait. Eyes. Wait, we're building you a throne. We built you a custom throne and
I
everything.
don't want a throne. I don't
Come on,
care.
we're gonna have a ceremony. We'll unite the
It's
people.
a lost cause. The people over there dribbling. This is a team of 7 people. I'm sorry to tell you, it's a lost cause, and I'm dipping.
Wait, Eyes, before you go.
No, don't care.
Alright, boys, this is a massive failure.
A mysterious player with no armor then wandered over to see what.
No. I have,
Bro, this guy just came over here with the plague.
we need to agree. What the? Who got the plague?
Look at this. This guy. He gave us all the plague.
And the infected player sprinted up the mountain, never to be seen again. Meanwhile, Isaac just returned to the farm to talk about his plans to defect, and the farmer
Here you
who
go,
helped
here's your
kill by
burger.
Ice earlier
Thanks.
decided to get some revenge.
Let's eat.
They then traveled through the cold mountain range, eventually approaching the walls of the Dwarf Kingdom and begun their siege.
Let's go.
The giants and elves were faced with a barrage of catapult boulders, meaning this battlefield would be extremely tough to cross. But Invictable led the attack on his dragon, and smited its wolf on top of the wall, instantly eliminating him.
Wait, someone just died!
Invictable then recharged his mana and
Who is
took down
it? Hey, what's up? I would like to rent. No, matter of fact, I'd like to buy that room up there. Sure. That'll be $100. No problem. That will do. Here, keep that as a change. Thank you so much. You're welcome. See ya. My room, yeah, this is my room here. What I bought. $7 in the morning. Two rooms, 2 more rooms. Yo, what's up? I was thinking, since I'm a time traveler, if I'm not here, other people can still stay in my room. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, see ya. Since there's only 3 rooms, I will people sleep in my rooms if I'm not there. Well, since I'm a time traveler after all. Let's go chill over here. Man, I need a horse. I'm gonna steal a horse. Talking about a horse. Please tell me this horse has a saddle. No, it doesn't. Shit. Well, fuck me. 3, 2, 1, go. Action. So still a horse. Please tell me this horse is tamed. Yes, it is tamed. Maybe not, it's not. Shit. How do I even get? Someone else's place. Oh fuck. What? Fuck it. Let's get the fuck out of here. Shit. Let's go somewhere. Let's go here, I guess. Press play.
On another dwarf with perfect
Oh, one
accuracy.
today,
Oh
yo.
my, so many of them. Ah!
The other giants and elves then skillfully fired catapults directly at the dwarf walls.
I got hit up! Oh my gosh!
With the battle's momentum heavily shifting in their favor, the elves and giants stormed into the kingdom. The dwarves had no choice but to retreat into the caverns and activate their TNT trap.
Of course you guys have a weird underground place. Of course.
Pineapples.
Oh my god!
Why do you always have to have some weird underground stuff?
But many of the dwarves were intercepted before they could get to the caverns. Giants now outnumbering them, despite the dwarves' location advantage. However, the dwarves had lured the giants and elves extremely deep into their mountain, and this was the perfect opportunity to turn the tables. So they worked up some courage and took down their first giant.
Get him!
You guys don't get
Get him! We got him!
Hey man, where you going? No blocking. No blocking off. You're not fast enough for that. You little, get him. Don't let him get away. I'm sick of this. Oh! Come back!
Get away from me!
The dwarves bravely took down two more giants, angering eyes with their new battle tactics.
Okay, I'm gonna freak out. Alright, whatever, you guys do it. Kill it now! You go through a hole again? Come here, you little rat. Get out of there. Get out of the hole. Get TNT now!
With just 7 of them remaining, the dwarves knew that they needed a new plan to beat the giants, and decided to flee to their mountain fortress structure to use the high ground and tunnels that they created earlier to outmaneuver the giants even further.
Run! They're coming!
The giants and elves charged after them, catching up to 2 dwarves who had fallen behind.
I'm sorry, sir. Not really. Oh, this is a dwarf right here. Oh, well, there we go. This is another kill.
The final 5 dwarves climbed to the top of the fortress and prepared a plan to try splitting up their enemies and take them down one by one.
Where did they go, man? I don't even know where they are.
These remaining 5 dwarves were by far the most powerful, and they just about had enough gear to stand a chance. A lone elf then entered their structure, and the dwarves' final plan begun.
Kill him!
This guy's fucking
I got him! Oh!
The dwarves then found the giant separated from his army, and sprinted after him.
He's too big! He's weak! He's weak! He's dead! He's dead!
Bring it back.
Let's go!
Attack one at a time. Get the
Hey, don't do that. Don't attack one at a time. Ugh.
The dwarves then lured another separated giant into the mountain.
Coming for your toes, boy! We got him!
Courageously, the dwarf queen distracted 6 enemies by herself.
Don't let her get away. Kill her now! Kill her now! Oh, come on. Kill the small one.
Meanwhile, Squid Kid singled out another 2 giants. The queen's distraction gave them the perfect opportunity.
You're dead! You're dead! Come here! You're dead! You're dead! He's dead! He's dead! Get him up!
And they successfully eliminated the last of the giants. The dwarves had finally turned the tables of this battle, with 5 players remaining and only 3 elves in their way. But to win, they'd now have to face 3 of the most skilled warriors in the elf army, Ice, Invictable, and Sook, all 3 in netherite armor, while the dwarfs were still in diamond. The dwarf queen was still distracting Ice and Sook, and was trapped. selflessly fighting 3 giants by herself, meeting an unfortunate end.
Let's go.
The other dwarfs tried avenging her, and Eyes was furious, deciding to leave the fight.
Whatever, okay? Just go sit over here. Whatever. Beat them at their own game. I'm just standing over here in the middle. Whatever.
The dwarfs chased after them, and singled out Soup, who tunneled underground.
Soup's behind us! Get him! Get Soup! He's sinking!
I got him.
Soup escaped back to surface, and the lone dwarf who followed was teamed up on by the 3 elves.
His hand is gone.
But Squid Kid and the other dwarves came to the rescue, and Soup and Invictable fled the fight. Now was their chance to take down Eyes.
I got him!
With the most powerful of the elves eliminated, Soup and Invictable sprinted to the top of the mountain and built a sky base to use the elf race's archery and spells to gain the upper hand. Soup, what is this?
Where I'm gonna make my last stand.
Squid bravely towered up to the sky base and managed to hit a bow shot, knocking Soup all the way down to the bottom of the mountain.
No way.
Soup then attempted to hide,
He's in the wall!
but 3 dwarfs found him. He was heavily outnumbered.
Nah, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Nah, GG's.
We got him! We got him!
The only remaining elf was their king, who flew down from his sky base, trying to catch them off guard. But the dwarfs chased him down and begun the fight that all of the fallen dwarfs gave their life for.
He's low! I shot him?
I'm actually at full health still, so unfortunately, I think I'll be pulling this back. I lied.
We got him! Let's go!
That is where the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to
Given absolutely no help or guidance, so it was entirely up to them to elect a leader, build a society, and if it came down to it, invade other dimensions in an all-out interdimensional war. This won't be easy though, as the players were in hardcore mode, so if they die, they'll be dead forever. Sit back, relax, and pick a dimension to root for. I present to you Minecraft Civilization Dimension Edition. We start our story in the overworld, where the players began by doing what all great civilizations do, imprisoning the native population and vandalizing their property. Some players began building a farm, whilst others ventured out to the caves, taking advantage of the overworld's rich resources. It was during this time that a player named Flo declared his ambitions.
I want to become the most powerful player on this Minecraft SMP.
This was a foreshadowing of things to come. In the Nether, players were greeted by a much more hostile environment. While trying their best to punch down warped trees, players were getting taken out left, right, and centre by piglets. Those that survived the chaos quickly ran to the basalt biome and began mining blackstone to craft themselves some stone tools, while a group of brave players led an expedition into the nearby Nether fortress. A lone player, B-Bag, rushed over to explore one of the bastions. Inside, he got very lucky and didn't come across any major resistance, that he took all the loot for himself.
Oh my god!
By the time other players arrived, B-Bag was long gone.
We need to dominate both of us.
We are dominating this server.
And after plotting his rise to power with his ally Wildling, he took a tour of the Nether, showing off his wealth to the civilians.
This is kind of like free diamond.
Jesus Christ, man. The people at the end had the hardest beginning. Being the only way to get anything, they were forced to raid the huge entities with no armor and no weapons. Which, as you can imagine, when, it was safe to say the end was getting obliterated. Those that did manage to work together and raid the cities quickly became the most powerful players in the dimension. The survivors began wearing pumpkins to avoid getting murdered by the locals. They also found a sapling of one of the chests and quickly set up a tree farm. As you can expect, everyone was incredibly orderly and took turns waiting to harvest each tree. Back in the overworld below ground, players were beginning to find their first diamonds. Oh, diamonds!
No way.
However, they were losing a lot of teammates to hostile mobs.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Above ground, trading and cooperation had started. However, it wasn't long before infighting broke out between some of the members of the population. Flo believed that another player, Level, was stealing his iron.
Level 6 by all 6 of my iron.
This annoyed Flo greatly, so he responded by stealing the team's enchantment table.
Enchantment table.
Flo stole the enchantment table and ran off.
Then, after being chased by his angry fellow citizens, he escaped into the distance.
Win the vote. Yes. I'm away.
While in hiding, he conspired with some fellow teammates to keep the enchantment table for themselves.
Right. Does anyone need an enchantment table?
Yes, this isn't like the keep it for now and don't let anyone use it.
Soon, propaganda began spreading across the overworld, alerting the population that Flo had become an enemy of the state. Eventually, Flo was tracked down by a player named Jolly Tinsel, who was very angry with Flo and wanted the enchantment table back.
He's holding the enchanting table.
I don't have an enchantment table. I'm literally holding it in front of this guy's face. You're holding it. Bruh.
That is a boat. Then he proceeded to run away, and so Jolly Tinsel, outraged by the incident, placed a large bounty on Flo's head. In the Nether, food supplies were running dangerously low, so players ventured into the Crimson Forest to hunt down wild hoglins for pork chops. This method of food collection was incredibly dangerous, and the Nether team lost several players. While the majority of the citizens were struggling to survive, B-Bag, already the most powerful player in the server, ventured over to the Nether Fortress and allied with a player named Aloys. Somehow, he managed to convince Aloys to hand over his diamond chestplate. This meant that B-Bag now had full diamond armor, which gave him a considerable advantage over his fellow struggling citizens to shelter the surviving civilians from the hostile outdoors. Construction of an underground bunker had begun.
Give us a little talk.
I'm just a loner. I've got a button and a door.
Oh, wow. He was down in this bunker that some players began